Assalamu alaikum. My name is Maryam, and I am going to talk about how endometriosis has affected my life in a negative way. I'm going to read what I have wrote. My entire childhood, I dreamt of being a mother. I used to play make-believe mommy with my favorite baby doll, Sarah. I took my baby doll, Sarah, everywhere with me. I would bring her with me when I went shopping with my mother. I would carry Sarah in my arms while walking in the store with my mom. I would carry her to the baby department within the store. And I would look at all the baby items. I used to buy bottles, diapers, blankets, socks, shoes, clothes, toys, diaper bags, etc. Anything that would be needed or used for a real baby, I got it from my baby doll, Sarah. I loved my baby doll so much. I remember thinking within my child mind that I wanted Sarah to have everything that a baby may need or want. I wanted my doll Sarah to not have to lack in anything, even though she was not a real human baby. I remember one day I placed Sarah on a chair, but when I did, she fell out of the chair and onto the floor. I immediately picked her up and started hugging and kissing her. I carried my baby doll to the bathroom and I sat her on the counter. I grabbed a box of Band-Aids from the bathroom cabinet and I began to put Band-Aids on Sarah as if she had a wound that I was trying to care for or fix. I remember another time I had forgotten where I sat Sarah down at. I looked everywhere, but I could not find her. I became frantic in trying to find her. I remember the feeling of fear and worry that I felt, and the tears running down my face as I frantically searched for her. When I finally found her, I was so overjoyed and relieved and happy that I had found my baby doll, Sarah. I remember when the time to go to sleep came, Sarah was still right there with me. I would take all my pillows and stack them on top of one another on the floor right next to my bed to create a bed for her to sleep on. I would lay my baby doll Sarah right on top of the pillows, and then I would cover her up well with one of her baby blankets that I had for her. Right before I went to sleep, I would kiss her on the head and then sing her a song I made up about how much me and God loved her. When the time came for me to sleep, I would hang my arm off my bed just so I could have my hand touching her as I slept. And without a pillow, I would go to sleep. I remember one night my daddy came in to tuck me in and tell me good night. He asked me where all my pillows were. I pointed to my baby doll and said, "Look, I made a bed for Sarah." My dad looked at me with a big smile on his face, and he said, "You gave up all your pillows so that your baby Sarah could have a bed to sleep on? You are going to be a very good mama one day, kiddo." He would call me kiddo. He said, "A good parent will sacrifice their own comfort to give comfort to their child. Good job, kiddo." My father's words to me that night have been with me in my mind and my heart ever since. I spent my entire childhood and teenage years daydreaming about my future as being a mother. In fact, that is all that I thought about. When I was a little girl, people would ask me, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And I would always respond with the same answer every time. "I want to be a mommy when I grow up," is what I said. I never dreamed about being a ballet dancer or a teacher or anything else. All I ever dreamed about was being a mother. I have dreamed it and planned it for so long as I can remember. Being a mother was the biggest and only desire and still is. So you can imagine my surprise and deep heartache when I became older and found out that I had endometriosis that caused infertility. It is as though someone had completely ripped away every sweet childhood dream I had and destroyed it. It is It is as though all goodness, pleasure, and happiness into my future had been shattered. My heart and soul were left completely devastated. I once envisioned myself with a beautiful future of motherhood, but now in reality, all I have is a future of loneliness and emptiness. Now all I have is a bunch of broken dreams. Dreams that once gave me great joy and hope and happiness are now dreams that leaves me full of heartache, sadness, and depression. My life has become nothing but broken dreams and unanswered prayers. I cannot count how many days and nights that I have spent on my knees with my face to the ground, drenched in my tears, begging and pleading for Allah to make me a mother, begging for Him to allow life to enter my womb. But night after night and day after day, my cries and my desperate prayers have continued to go unanswered. At this point, I do not know if I will ever get to enjoy the beautiful and precious experience of motherhood. But still to this day, if you ask me what I want, I will say, I want to be a mom, inshallah. Excuse me. That's just a small portion of how endometriosis has affected my life. Yes, I have pain from it. I have irregular periods. I have heavy bleeding. I have so much discomfort in it, especially around the days of my cycle or on my cycle. There are days when I can't hardly stand up or walk for very long because of the pain. But it would be fine or even all worth it if I had a child. My only real complaint is not the pain, it's the infertility. And the unfortunate fact that procedures and fertility treatment and even adoption, if all else fails, is far too expensive for me to be able to afford. And I know there are many women out there who are facing the same troubles. If they could, they would do IVF treatment or IUI treatment or just basic fertility medication. They would try anything. But the costs of those things are so outrageous that most women are not able to make those things happen, to even try it. And even if they do have the ability to do those things and it doesn't become a successful pregnancy, then there's the option of adoption. But adoption in America, I know, is roughly around $40,000 to $60,000, and that's not including legal fees. That's just simply for the adoption. So, if you ask me what is the hardest thing about endometriosis or the biggest negative impact it has made on my life, and I know made on many other women's lives and their husbands too, is the fact of infertility and the fact of treatment being so far out of reach because of its cost, its high cost. And unfortunately, most health insurance do not cover for anything except maybe a surgery to try and remove some of the endometrial tissue. But even doing that, I've had a surgery and still no pregnancy has occurred. It helped with the pain for about 2 years. But after that, it got much worse than it was before, and still, infertility has reigned over my life. So this is just a video just to speak my heart of how this disease has impacted my life in a negative way, and I know that it has impacted many others' lives in the same negative way. So yeah, that's it, and thanks for listening to me. All right, may Allah bless you all. Amin. Goodbye.